Yes. I saw you eating a bunch of cereal.
Oh my god, I ate so much cereal. I was so hungry. To be fair, there's not much in those little containers.
They are small containers.
It's like half a serving, I'd
Yeah.
say.
I think it's a quarter cup. I saw those 3 bowls and I was like, oh, I guess someone had some cereal.
All of those are me.
Had a variety too.
I know. I think it was Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops, and then Honey Nut Cheerios.
That's what it was.
Actually, I think the Fruit Loops were first. Then it was the Frosted Flakes. And then I ate the Honey Nut Cheerio.
So you must want pizza now.
Yeah.
He didn't use that as an excuse. He used that as fuel to make things better for other people.
Go preheat the oven. Get that preheating. Do you want anything while you wait for it? Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what we have for snacks if you're hungry while you wait for that. Take about a half hour to preheat and cook because it's the DiGiorno's, so it's going to take a little longer than the other one.
Freaking loaded, man. Oh, it smells really good. That was so funny. That was fabulous. That's what I'm wondering. Good question. Good question. It wasn't terrible, it was so strong. And if it was a little less pickly and just more dippy, if that makes sense. Like, because it feels like. No, more less pickly. I don't know how to describe it.
I know exactly what you mean. It was a great way to describe it.
It's like, it feels like it's trying to like have its own flavor.
Cheers! Let's go!
So we can go pick up some clothes and go out to eat.
Okay.
He tried the dill pickle dip for the first time. He has sensitive kind of taste buds. When he put that in his mouth, he literally like backed up. You know how when they say it packs a punch? For him it is. It's, yeah, he's pickles and stuff like that. He's never cared for, too strong. But he did. He put it in his mouth. He backed up, and he was standing there, and he's like, I mean, I like the flavor. It's so strong. And he was standing there, like making this face, trying to decide whether or not he liked it or not. And the radio goes, "Should it stay or should it go?" And he starts laughing. He's like, "Good question." That was cute. And then he said, if it was just less pickly and more dippy. I started laughing, and then he was like trying to explain what he meant, and I was like, no need. I know exactly what you meant. That was a perfect way to describe it. Less pickly, more dippy. He did. He lit his face and he backed up like 5-6 feet. It's like, oh.
That conservation movement, along with Americans. That conservation movement's over 100 years old now. It's been destroyed in many areas of the country in 10 years. 100 years of conservation destroyed in 10 years. Entire ecosystems wiped out by illegal aliens. Look at the ginseng harvest in our eastern forests. Many of those poor mountain families, from where I'm from there in the Appalachian Mountains, harvested ginseng for hundreds of years since Daniel Boone all the way to the mid-1990s. They can't do that anymore. Why? It's been stripped. That ginseng has been stripped from those mountains by illegal aliens. Hey, you know what? Let's drop off 15 illegal aliens. We'll scour the entire mountainside, take every single bit of it in a non-sustainable harvest, and take it all. But that's everything.
I'm getting too upset.
Hey, but that's not just ginseng. That's everything. So I did a research paper on that. Back in 2012, they wouldn't let me publish it in the Border Patrol. It was destruction of our nation's natural resources by illegal aliens. Wouldn't let me publish it.
Publish it? Why?
They said it was too controversial. They told the truth. So
it was too controversial for a Border Patrol agent to note that illegal immigration was destroying our natural resources?
Imagine that. Yes. I tried several times.
It's just national suicide, that's obviously.
Yeah, you bet. So every facet of our natural resources are under attack. You know, look, we're having water problems out west. They're telling us
we're running out of water.
We're running out of water. They're telling us we may have rolling blackouts because we don't have enough electricity. Everything is downstream of immigration. No pun intended, but the water problem out west, we can fix that. Oh, in about 2 years. Deport 107 million of those illegal aliens taking your and my water and my resources. Problem solved. Where's Sierra Club? Hey, where's all the environmental groups? They don't seem to really care now all of a sudden. You know, I guess that's okay. You know, if it's illegal aliens, not a problem. If Tucker Carlson or Greg Bovino drops a little bit of oil, out of your car on the pavement, my God, hell's to pay. It's called the DSP, the double standard phenomenon, which is also rife in America. The double standard phenomenon. Illegal aliens get a pass. You don't, because you're one of those dastardly American citizens who is apparently the devil to the world, but an illegal alien that actually uses those resources and hurts your culture, your species. That's okay. See it every day, and I think you do too.
I couldn't agree more, and it's one of the reasons that I campaigned for Trump. That and no new foreign wars. Eating right's pretty important, but it's hard if you live here. About half of the American diet is ultra-processed foods, and that hurts you. Fake food harms your body, your mind, and especially your liver. So people think that feeling sluggish and foggy and bloated is just what it is to be older, but that's not true. Eating crap makes you feel that way. Well, our friends at Dose have a solution. It's called Dose for Your Liver. This doctor-approved, plant-based liver supplement is clinically proven to promote liver function and lower liver enzyme levels. That means you're less bloated, less tired, you feel more like yourself. All you need to do is take a daily 2-ounce shot. Tastes like orange juice. An easy shot of liquid. It's not the Vax. People we know use Dose for Your Liver, and they have seen rapid results in their blood work, and they feel much, much better. The difference is very obvious. Lots of brands claim to support liver health, but do so before their products have gone through testing. This has been tested. Everything checks all the boxes. Visit dosedaily.co/Tucker. Use the code Tucker for 35% off. That's dosedaily.co/Tucker. Code Tucker, 35% off. You're going to love it. I just can't get past the betrayal of all of this. There's still 105. And I think if you were to poll Trump voters and ask, and I think a lot of them would say I'm disappointed by this or that, but the one upside is immigration enforcement. I think if you told them that there are 105 million illegal aliens, not green card holders, illegal aliens have no right to be here, living here in violation of the law and living in almost all cases on public support. I mean, whether it's schools, roads, hospitals, or direct support from the states, I think they wouldn't even believe you. I think Trump voters really think that the administration's done a great job on immigration because Fox News has told them that.
You know, the gaslighting, masterclass.
Really?
Masterclass
Give me an
gaslighters.
example.
Again, the operations that they conduct. Hey, you know what? Largest amount of illegal aliens, or largest amount of aliens deported, in the past 50 years just took place last week. Hey, what are the numbers? I can't seem to get the numbers. Your social media influencers can't seem to get the numbers, but they're sure touting the numbers out there. And what are the numbers? I haven't seen the numbers. If this is really happening, then how is it that 250 Border Patrol agents on those interior operations pretty much shut down large sections of the country where you didn't see an illegal alien? They weren't going to hospitals, jails, schools, or anything else because they were either self-deporting or buttoning up. That's not happening now. So if what you say is really taking place, you would see the effects. Every American citizen would see the effects like they saw it over that past year during Operation Large, Operation Midway Blitz, Charlotte's Web, Operation Catahoula Crunch, and then the surrender in Minnesota. You would see that. You would see it with your own eyes. It's not some ethereal concept. Tucker, you can see that kind of thing with your own eyes. And American citizens that came up to us on the streets, and come up to me on the streets now, they say, gosh, it sure was a different story when you guys were out, when the Mean Green team was out there on the streets, taking it to them. Wow, everything was different. We finally had hope. You're not getting that now from people that are actually up against illegal immigration, most especially, and this is key here, our young people. Those young conservatives, wow, now there are a bunch of individuals that are seeing this. I get more comments and more rhetoric from them than anybody I have ever seen. They are not happy. Their future, they understand, is being taken away. It has been taken away. And Tucker, something very powerful here. One of those young conservatives came up to me and said, we've only heard stories of America. We've only heard the story of America. I'm like, what do you mean, the story of America? We are America. There's no story. He goes, we don't know what America is. People like you tell us what America, people like Tucker say, this is what America used to be like. We've only heard the story of America. That was the most powerful thing I've ever heard. Being a Border Patrol agent is this young person that doesn't even know what real America is because it's been taken from them. A lot of it through illegal immigration. And, they better wake up. Some of these people that have betrayed us, some of those gatekeepers that I just talked to, better wake up because there's a lot of pissed off people out there, especially the young. They did a big part in ensuring that there was somebody in office that would take care of immigration. Very unhappy campers right now, and I don't blame them a bit. They should be unhappy, and they are sharpening spears dancing around the campfire right now.
They have every reason to. One measure of border security is the presence of narcotics that are manufactured outside the country, and cocaine is one that. Cocaine's a pretty good measure because we don't grow coca here. So all cocaine, at least the base, cocaine base, comes from outside the country, comes from the Andes. So in 1985, the average cost of a gram of highly impure cocaine, majority baby laxative cocaine, was $100 a gram. And you had to drive to some sketchy area and roll down your window and buy it and risk your life. The price now in many American cities, particularly in Texas, is $50 a gram for almost totally pure cocaine you can have delivered to your house within like 10 minutes, no risk. So that tells me that we don't have secure borders. If the price of cocaine, and that's not adjusted for inflation, those are just the straight numbers, $100 in 1985, $50 now, so that's like, I don't even know what the inflation adjustment would be, but that's like $5 a gram, in 1985 dollars. Clearly we're not keeping drugs out, right?
Exactly. And that's where those mass deportations are so very important. That 107, 105 million is so very important. We saw that in those cities. Look at the double-digit drops in crime in those cities when those cocaine traffickers, when those human traffickers, whatever traffickers couldn't traffic anymore, double-digit drops in crime. When you we're not taking away the people that use it. A lot of those are American citizens dumb enough to do that kind of thing, but we're just going to remove everyone that traffics it, that knows it's being trafficked, has anything to do with it being trafficked. We're just going to do away with them. I think he did start out really good. He was blowing some drug boats up, the fentanyl. Fentanyl kills a lot of people. That's terrible stuff, just like cocaine and anything else. Hey, that was good. That was taking place simultaneously with us in those cities, taking it to the illegal aliens. Hey, that gave me hope. I was like, wow, they're actually bombing boats in the water. Well, if you're going to take away Border Patrol from the interior, are you really going to be that serious? Are you going to bomb a boat and do what Rodney Scott and Tom Holman do it one time, splash it across the headlines and say, yeah, we're really taking it to them, and you did one time?
It looked like another government shutdown that would cut Maine families off the programs they need. But Senator Susan Collins led the fight to keep government open, bridging the divide between Republicans and Democrats, and protecting federal funding and critical family services to help children and mothers in need. Senator Collins' bipartisan leadership makes a difference. Call and tell Senator Collins to keep government working for Maine families.
So I'm a little bit confused. So Holman, who I've interviewed several times, says he's very against illegal immigration and has a pistol and an ankle holster and kind of seems like a rough and ready, no BS kind of guy who's dedicated his life to fighting illegal immigration. You worked with him. Tell us, is that an accurate picture?
I'll tell you, when you're going to lead an effort to do something like that, inevitably, and it's a must-do, you better have your ass out there on the front lines with your people bleeding next to them, especially in the most violent domestic law enforcement mission that's faced the U.S. in its history, the most, and I'm even including prohibition in this one now. Where were these individuals during that year of pure, unadulterated violence? I didn't see them. Where was Commissioner Rodney Scott missing in action? Where was Tom Holman? Nice guy, fun guy to talk to, probably a great guy to have a whiskey with. Where was he? Ankle holster and all. Where were they? You better get your butt out there with your people, bleed, and be ready to make that ultimate sacrifice next to them. You're not too good. You're not too good to do that. None of yous are. You better get out there and do that. So I would pose that question back to you, as my answer is, well, where were they? I never saw them. Not once. Never even heard from them. Never had a conversation. Nothing. Silence. But they're not silent now. Still not out there, but not silent. More of a, we're going to take a soft approach. I guess maybe that's the
What does
toughness.
that mean, a soft approach?
A soft approach means We're not going to be out there doing those general immigration raids. We're not going to conduct total spectrum immigration enforcement, which is what you have to do if you're going to win this battle. Total spectrum immigration, that means everything brought to bear against that enemy. In other words, we're talking about the war being fought on American soil. It's going to take an effort like that, a total warfare. What they're talking about is a limited form of enforcement, sort of like World War II versus Vietnam. What did we do in Vietnam? Well, we're going to do some precision limited strikes here, and we're not going to go total warfare, and we're going to lose. Whereas World War II, total spectrum warfare. Whatever it takes, we do. So that's what the soft approach is we're going to do a precision strike. Hey, a precision strike, Tucker's never won a war, by the way. It won't. Let's do a precision strike there in Maryland. They did that last week. They got some good apprehensions. Those ICE agents are the greatest. Love them. They're like Border Patrol agent patriots. But that'll never win 105 million illegal aliens. You have to do something else. You're not going to put handcuffs on 105 million people. We've only got 2 years left to do that, by the way. You need to encourage and mandate those self-deportations and those large-scale efforts that it's going to take. It won't be neat, clean, and easy. Of course it's not. We never said it would be. That's what you have to do. A soft approach is the opposite of that.
Hey, it's Tucker Carlson. We launched Alpha about a year and a half ago, and people are voracious for it. They can't get enough. Everywhere you go, you get the same question. When are you making more flavors? Why not just enforce ID laws? Like, we have AI, so like, how does anybody have a fake social security card or a fake driver's license? And yet millions, tens of millions of people do. I don't think I could get away with that. How are they allowed to get away with that?
DSP, double standard phenomenon. It is alive and well in this country. It's one of those unenforced laws.
But if you had a fake social security card and tried to open a bank account, I think you'd risk jail for that, right?
No, absolutely. Absolutely. You bet. But who's going to go after an illegal alien for that when...
I don't know, the Trump administration, wasn't he just elected to do this? Didn't he get the majority of the popular vote to do this?
Yes, absolutely.
That's not violent. You're not shooting anybody. It's like you can't use fake federal documents. I'm not allowed to use fake federal... No, I'm serious. Like, why is that... How can you get on an airplane if you're here illegally? I mean, they have facial recognition at the freaking airport. Like, we're all totally monitored at all times. So if you've got 105 illegal aliens in your country, someone wants them there. Someone in power, like Donald Trump, or whoever is making these decisions. Like, what is this?
Yes, what is this? It's a farce.
It is a farce.
It's a farce. It's a slap in the face. And, it's... but we can still win it. Here's the thing, though. We can still win this.
Well, you've got 2 years because the second... I mean, Democrats are about to take power in 2 months. And at that point, the chances that... And, you think that Republicans are going to win in 2028? I mean, after this, war in Iran? No. So they're all going to be legalized. That's it. And then it's a totally different country forever.
Done. If that happens, done. Every American...
But how is that not going to happen?
Well, we can still do it. We can still do it. Look, we've proof concepted how to do this in the interior. When the U.S. Border Patrol leading efforts the proof concept's there. It's just on a much larger scale. It's also bringing Ma and Pa America into the fight, bringing the taxpayer into the fight. Remember, that was something in our strategy that was well in motion. You've got to bring them into the fight. Everyday citizens, like a victory garden in World War II. We're going to do our part.
But they think they've already won. They've been told by the administration and Fox News that, that this is the upside of Trump. All the downsides is the upside. You got what you wanted in immigration.
Yeah, well, I'm here to say sorely mistaken. And absolutely not. You scratch the surface, but look around you. Look around and see what that's like out on the streets. Look at what our African Americans are facing in those cities. I get so many calls from conservative blacks saying, please come back to Chicago or LA or wherever, because that was the first and only time that our community has really, truly had any assistance from anybody. They were
No one in charge cares about black people.
They absolutely.
Their schools have been destroyed. The murder rate's out of control. They're being replaced by illegal aliens, and literally nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
And their families have been here for 350 years, and nobody cares.
Nobody gives a damn. Nobody gives a damn about that. But you know what? I tell you, Governor Pritzker there in Illinois, once we started in Fourth Ward, some of those wards, and the black folks came out and were supporting us, you could tell they were getting a little edgy. They were like, hey, they're on to something, you know. And what a great story for a Homan or a Rodney Scott, if they're going to sit back in a safe seat in D.C., to talk about silence. Your own citizens coming out in force to support the U.S. Border Patrol of all people. And what a story, what a miss by that bunch of gate guards. Unbelievable.
Who are the gate guards?
Two of them there I've mentioned. Yeah, two fantastic ones there. They're fantastic.
At guarding the gate.
Guarding that information.
To the president.
You bet. I think if Trump knew what you and I were talking about, I think if you or I could sit across from him and say, hey, here's the real deal that you haven't been getting, I think he might, you know what? I think he would actually reverse course, because, and the reason I say this is, look at what we did that first year. Once we started, hey, we got calls from Trump. He called the Border Patrol. He called us. Man, you guys are doing great. Kick their ass. We've got your back. Kick butt. We're going to take this thing. He said that. Gate guards come in. So I think Caesar was probably up against that there many thousands of years ago. Same thing. You can see the jackals and the hyenas. They always come in, nip at the tendons. And I think that's what happened. I think that if he was to hear what was really going on, hear what Americans are thinking and saying, hearing those young people out there, and then hearing some of the conspiracies that have actually taken place under his watch by those individuals, he'd be like, oh, wow, wait a second.
Like what?
Well, surrender in Minnesota, people say, hey, Bovino, you retired. I did. I retired. That neat, clean, and easy. I was just a little tired and decided to retire. Hey, Tucker, I got some gas in the tank. There's a retirement there. If they want you gone, if those gate guards want you gone, you better watch out. They'll come for you. They will come for you. Come for your retirement. They'll come for everything. And
did that happen to you?
Absolutely, every bit of the way. Every bit of the way. When you play a hard game, you can expect hard treatments. I get that. But not a two-front war. Hard treatment should be me and the criminals. Not the two-front war with me and the folks that are supposedly your friends. The minute I left, security detail gets pulled. I'm one of the highest, if not the highest, threats in DHS. Death threats. I mean, you name it, man. They're coming. Hey, take that guy's security detail. We're going to shut that guy up. Stroke of midnight came. Those Border Patrol agents refused to leave my house. And I had to direct order. Hey, no, you're leaving, because I'm not in the Border Patrol anymore. And you know what? I knew this. I didn't say that to them. They'll come for you also. So
The administration.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you bet.
But Anthony Fauci still has federal security. We're paying Anthony Fauci's security detail. He doesn't work for the government anymore. He spent the whole life on the federal teat, and he still has Secret Service protection. Anthony Fauci, who committed crimes, but you don't, because the administration didn't want you to have security. Why?
I think to silence me, because...
Silence you, like get you killed? Because that's what it sounds like.
Do I think they want me dead at this point? Yes. I'm in a running battle every time I go out. I mean, every time the citizens of my own community are like, what is going on with you? These people come, there's some crazies out there. You know this, Tucker. And you bet. Do I think they want me killed? Absolutely.
The administration?
Yeah, absolutely. Or more of the gate guards. I don't think Trump would. I think if Trump knew what they had done and what they would do to Border Patrol agents or ICE officers or anyone that disagrees with them, I think he would have an absolute panic attack or a heart attack over something like that.
But you think Homan wants you gone, dead?
I think Rodney Scott, he's the one that took my security detail away with Homan there. Yeah, absolutely. You bet.
Why? That's a pretty heavy thing to say, and if I wasn't from Washington, I probably wouldn't believe you, but I do believe you since I am.
Sure. Well, I wouldn't have believed it either. But with what was coming at me the minute I retired, I thought, well, I'll probably get some security there. They're coming after other family members as well.
Your family members?
Absolutely. Through the mail, there was one point where the FBI had to intercept every single piece of mail because there were some bad things coming in the mail, that kind of thing. And just the vast amount of death threats. I got doxxed yesterday by WBTV Channel 3 in Charlotte, North Carolina. And
in what way?
Trying to name home addresses. They got
actually?
Oh yes, you bet. Now I've got a different address with my girlfriend out at a different place, but they did do that. And when that happens over and over and over,
what can you name the channel again?
A WBTV Channel 3.
Why would it be part of the news gathering process to put your home address on a TV channel?
I think that that's something that we saw in those cities with an absolute out of control so-called news media. They're not a news media. When they do things like they're not a news media, they're a propaganda arm.
They're an enforcement arm at that point.
An intimidation arm. You bet. But the only problem is I'm not intimidator. I wouldn't be here talking to you. Hey, they tried to take my legal representation away, or probably already have.
Who did?
That was Homan and the Gate Guards.
Your legal representation? In other words, if you're sued for actions taken in your official capacity at Border Patrol, you don't get legal representation?
They're supposed to. Absolutely. If it was under the performance of your duties under the color of law, and you weren't doing something illegal,
right?
Then absolutely every minute of the day. But apparently others don't see it that way.
How do you know that?
I got a call from another Border Patrol chief, a retired chief, who got a call from them saying, hey, if you don't stop, we're taking it away.
Stop what?
Stop coming on Tucker Carlson and
pointing out
the
that there's still 105 million illegal aliens in the country?
You bet. And
Homan did that?
His people. Yeah, I can't say he did. His people, yes. You bet.
Again, I've interviewed the guy a number of times. I hope he'll come back. I'd love to ask him about this.
Absolutely. Yeah, maybe that would... hell, I'd like to ask him about it.
Have you talked to him since you left?
No.
So I'd love to put a finer point. I mean, first of all, what you said is shocking. Everything you've said is shocking. And really, really distressing and dark. If you think Homan and this other guy want you dead, I mean, that's it's unbelievable.
No, proof's in the pudding.
I think that's fair. But why? I'd love to know a little more precisely why they're so mad at you.
I think when we have cheap labor politicians who are a very powerful force. I didn't realize they were this powerful, very powerful force. That puts a lot of pressure on some individuals, and some individuals maybe they want the lucrative contracts also. I don't know. I can't say that for sure, but there's something there behind the scenes that causes that to happen. It doesn't just happen just for the hell of it. Hey, let's have Bovino dead. But
not because voters want it. Voters wanted to get back to the sort of pre-lunatic American population. They don't want to live in a crowded, poor country. Who wants that? Nobody wants to live in Bangladesh. So, this is nuts. And that's what voters wanted. That's why they elected Trump. That and no new foreign wars. And then the donors convinced Trump to fight a foreign war that voters did not want. And it sounds like donors also pushed Trump to stop immigration enforcement.
Yes.
You think that's true?
I do. Absolutely. You bet. Look at some of the politicians that came out against me or Christine Noem, specifically after the surrender in Minnesota, the Kennedys at Louisiana, or Representative McCall out of Texas.
Mike McCall?
Yes. Why would they say those things?
What did McCall say?
I believe he said that we were out of control and too aggressive, something like that.
Do you find it interesting? So McCall is a tool of the intel agencies, I happen to know, and I mean that, and I hope he'll come on and explain how I'm wrong, but he knows I'm not wrong because I've talked to him about it directly. But I have noticed a connection between the people who are not very loyal to the United States and very into fighting wars on behalf of other nations. They're also very against immigration enforcement. I've noticed that. Have you noticed that?
I have, and some of the people, and I've noticed that over my career, some people that I would think, oh, they're going to be good on immigration. The worst, I remember when Bush was elected, we were rejoicing in the patrol. We thought, oh man, this is going to be great. He was just as bad as Hillary Clinton, or worse.
Of course.
Worse, again, the two-front war. Stabbing you in the back while you're out fighting bad guys. Same thing now, except worse. Even worse than...
But Bush was this, very much like this administration, spent all of its time, all of our money, all of their energy fighting a war in the Middle East, and then they're for changing the American population with illegal immigration at the same time. It's so weird. I don't understand the connection. All of it is bad for America. Maybe that's the connection.
Tucker, this is, in my opinion, of course, the greatest issue, greatest threat that our nation has faced since its founding.
Of course.
And I'm including the Civil War in that. I think the Civil War is child's play compared to what we're facing now, because this ends it all. 105 million illegal aliens get amnesty and start voting, which it appears that, the Tom Tillises, the McCalls, and the rest of that gang want that. When they start voting, everything's gone. If you think your Second Amendment's good, it's gone. That Second Amendment's gone. Everything's gone. Everything that you hold dear, your culture, your values, traditions, everything. They don't care. Tucker, they don't care about your history, nor the American history, because
they were right.
that which is given. Robert Heinlein said it the best. He wrote Starship Troopers. That which is given has no value. That which is given has no value. When we just gave them citizenship, they will hate you for that. They'll abhor you for that. They do abhor us for that. You can already see it. The entitlement mentality, it's not an entitlement. They just hate Americans because we're stupid enough to do it. And when you give someone something like that, they don't care if your granddad died at Iwo Jima, or your great-great-great-granddad at Gettysburg, or maybe you had an ancestor that was a founding father. They could give a damn about that. They don't care. When that ceases to be a reality here, in our country, and you're in my country, you're done. Right now, we're at the precipice of the greatest, of either solving or bowing down to the greatest threat that we have ever faced since the founding.
I strongly agree with that. It seems very obvious, and that's why there's so little national cohesion. The upside, however, for the people in charge is an immigrant population is much easier to control. They don't believe that the Bill of Rights is real or applies to them. They don't have natural rights. No one told them what that is. So you can kind of do whatever you want to them and call yourself the hero of the story. And you see it with rich people and their housekeepers, who all secretly hate them. But they're totally convinced that, Catalina loves me, I'm the hero to her. There is a kind of psychology, the rich white lady psychology around this question.
The Democratic plantation owners, the new plantation owners, and that's the way they even act like it. These elitists, these fringe left liberal socialists act like that, like plantation owners.
Oh, I know.
It's absolutely amazing what they do. And you talk about racist. Holy cow, they're the worst.
Yeah. No, I've seen it so much. So how did, when Christine Ohm left, was forced out, and then replaced by one of the slowest, famously one of the slowest, but certainly one of the most liberal members of the United States Senate, Mark Wayne Mullen, which he is, he's extremely liberal, and because he's from Oklahoma, like nobody seems to get that, but he is, particularly in immigration and foreign policy. I mean, it's like giving it to Lindsey Graham. How did that why would you put Mark Wayne Mullen, a liberal, a Kamala Harris liberal, in that role?
Well, exactly. I think when we talk about those donors, that donor class, getting someone confirmed, why would you not put a liberal in? You're going to get enough votes from the crazy Democrats, and then you're going to get the support from the big labor rhinos, just like they did with Commissioner Rodney Scott. He sailed through the confirmation, folks. You know what? He's bringing back Biden-era individuals into CBP right now as we speak. The ones that let the 30 million in.
Actually?
You bet. Yes.
Does the White House know this?
I don't think, I think the gate guards keep it so guarded. I don't think they know
Stephen
that.
Miller, I thought he was this big.
I don't know. Hey, Stevie, you got some work to do there, buddy. got some work to do there, Stevie. But
I'm just confused because wasn't this the issue that defined them?
yes, yes, it was. So that's how someone like a Mark Mullen is put into a position like that. There are a certain class of people that love a Mullen. Hey, you know, Mullen, what is he listening to? He's listening to Tom Holman, Rodney Scott, worst of the worst, and targeting. That's really all he can. That's all he can regurgitate.
And
is
so that, for people who haven't heard that talking point, that means we're going after the really bad ones.
the really bad ones, worse the criminal aliens, the terrorists, child molesters, you know, folks that have committed murder, whatever. The worst of the worst.
People who criticize Israel, stuff like that. Really, the really bad, the ones who deserve the death penalty.
And I will say that is the opposite of what we should be doing. That is not a threat to your nation. Let me say this again. A lot of people think I'm crazy. That's not the threat to your nation is the worst of the worst. The threat to your nation is your run-of-the-mill illegal alien that we've just said, the 105 million, that don't share your cultures, your values, that don't care about anything related to America, that have been given, that want to be given citizenship. That's far more of a threat. Hey, we can get those criminal aliens anytime. That record's not going away. We can get them anytime. Anytime. Right now, we've got that window to get that regular run-of-the-mill illegal alien, maybe a landscaper, maybe he doesn't have a criminal record in the U.S., even though he's still a criminal because he crossed the border illegally. They're all criminals. He probably does have a criminal record in a foreign country that we won't know about. But that is far more of a threat to you, me, and our values than an MS-13 gang member.
Well, it's certainly a threat to our justice system because I'm like, why should I obey the law? Why do I have a seatbelt alarm in my car? Constantly getting lectured about everything all the time from everybody in authority. $18 a pack cigarettes, just like an unaffordable life. And a legal code that you have to hire a lawyer to understand whether you're in compliance, and you better know whether you're in compliance because you go to jail or get fined if you're not. And then 105 million people get to just like give the finger to the U.S. code and nobody does anything about it. It's like, why am I obeying the law? Like, what? Why? Does that make sense?
Not a lick of sense. But what it is it's a litmus test. The litmus test took place over this past year with that interior enforcement.
Oh man, everybody's bell just went off. It's a huge one that comes up. Well, if they can get away with it so easy, why wouldn't I? We've heard a lot of people that are pretty high up, classification, what do they call that? Access level, top, what is it? Not top secret, no. Like the higher level access. Right, the tier system. Thank you. Yeah, there's like a tier system. Right, so a lot of them, they too are, look how easily, we could very easily, it's almost like just the push of a button, just deciding to go to a different party. It's that easy. You don't even have to sign a card or nothing. You don't need a name tag. You just decide. Right, it's literally a quick decision. As quickly as you can decide, I'm going to cut my steak with this knife or stab it in my eye. Why would you ever decide to stab it in your eye? Right, you just wouldn't do that. You're going to cut the steak, right? I know it can be hard decisions to make sometimes when, well, duh, why wouldn't I cut the steak? I don't want to stick the knife in my eye. That would be stupid. Why would you ever do that? You wouldn't, right? Right, because that means pain, maybe losing your eyesight or your life. Could bleed out, who knows? I mean, not very likely. I mean, You've seen people's eyes get taken out, stabbed, spooned out, popped out of socket, and they're fine. Right, but why would you do that? Why would I choose to lose my eyesight in one eye? So they have separate, because if you lose sight in one eye, you don't lose sight in both eyes. So the sight is separated by some kind of system, left, right, hemispheres, neurological pathways, and energy lines. I love learning about this stuff. I know that's not why your bells went off, hold on. But see how it's connected? And see how it's right back to square one, education and basic human functioning, and how it covers everything. Greenhouses, man, tell me. Food, housing. Yeah, it's a good thing we didn't do that. Could be missing out on all this excitement and action. Give me something to break! How about your fucking face? Right, so, yeah, why would you choose to lose eyesight in one eye and hurt yourself? I mean, that's gonna suck. You wouldn't do that. Nobody would choose to do that. No, you're gonna cut the steak, of course, dummy. Now, in comes the conditioning. What's at stake? Hold on, there's stipulations here. One moment, please stand. One moment. Please. Okay, we're back to your regularly scheduled programming. Now, if you choose to cut the steak, the fork might not even make it to your mouth. And a lot of innocent people are going to die. This is just for fun. I know, obviously, this would never be a real scenario. We're trying to help you understand other things, okay? Now, if you cut the steak, a lot of innocent people, they're going to die. And if you choose to take out one of your eyes, you will survive. We'll make sure of it right here. They'll live. Funding will be allocated properly. Human well-being will flourish. There'll be more peace. It's peaceful enough for you over there. Yeah, what about you? You can't get a moment's peace. No. Well, see, we don't think that's fair. No one should have to live that kind of lifestyle, especially in today's world, unless they want to. Some, like the busy, for them that's peace. What looks like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. How can you even get a moment's peace? What are you talking about? I love this. They're having a grand old time. I mean, what's a nightmare to you is a thrill ride to them. Right, and for you, what was once a thrill ride might now be a nightmare. Fucking never doing that again. I can't believe I used to do that. Wow. Yeah, we used to be enjoyable. Right, we deal with this a lot in different rehab groups and stuff. I remember being very young. And I myself, being so weirded out, thinking of how much I used to drink alcohol when I was a teenager. It blows my mind. I can't even imagine. I've actually experimented over the years and tried, and there's no frickin' way. It's like, no way, it would kill me. Yeah, I mean, I might make it through the first day or two, but no, wow, it's awful. It's fucking awful. Well, you know, some people are a little more sensitive to things than others or have chemical imbalances for whatever reason. Yeah, as long as you're aware of that. It's almost like, yeah, no, I'm going to pass on that because it'll give me too much gas.